Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. On this channel, I always like shining a spotlight on smaller indie fighting games. You know, not everything has to be Street Fighter or Tekken or whatever. And frankly, for indie titles, sometimes it's hard to get any kind of visibility going on. So with that in mind, I have an indie title for you today. And that is Joltt Battle Pillars, which, as long as I did this correctly anyways, should be live on Steam right now. I'll have a link for you in the video description, and remember it's Joltt with 2 T's. So what is this game exactly? You might notice, well, there's a lot of zoning going on, and there's definitely some traditional fighting game stuff. It's still a little different. And before we get into the details, if you want to be super reductive, this is dive kick but for zoning. And given that I very recently at Holiday Matsuri, along with my podcast co-host Babe Ruthless, sort of hosted one of the largest dive kick events in a good long time, I got that kind of flavor on the mind. Simple to learn, hard to master. Hey, we love that here in fighting games, don't we? And that's exactly what we got here. So the core concept is you pick your character, you're on your battle pillar, and if you get knocked over, you lose, game over. Every character is a zoner of some flavor, can toss projectiles at all sorts of angles, all sorts of speeds. And basically you're just here to outzone your enemy, win the projectile war any way you can. And as long as you get that hit in, you win the round, and it's first to 5. So just like how dive kick was very deadly, first hit wins, and it was a matter of who could out dive kick the other enemy, same concept here, first hit wins, and whoever is the better zoner, whoever is the master of projectiles, that will be the winner. And now that you kind of got the flavor, you kind of got a concept, let's talk about like the rules in depth. So here's character select. It's not a giant roster, and you can tell by, the art style, not exactly a AAA budget, but to be perfectly fair, this is the smallest of small developer teams. This is an indie game for sure, right? So now let's just talk the basics though. You generally work on 3 buttons here, 4 buttons with the super. So you have A, B, X, and you just toss a variety of projectiles. So this is L, and she's like kind of the Ryu, if you will. So you can shoot a straight across shot, you can shoot an anti-air shot, and she has feints where the first shot will dissipate and the real shot would be behind it at a different angle. And if you hit, just different buttons, different angles with your ABC, you can toss shots out at different angles or perhaps different timings or multiple shots. And yes, naturally, in a zoning war, you can jump. And then all of a sudden, your various moves get new angles, new properties while you're jumping. And to add a little bit of depth, add a little bit of nuance, there's multiple kinds of jumps. There's a regular jump, there's a quick hop if you just tap up, and if you hit down up, there's a super jump, so you can get some like real big air and stay above, the potential death trap as you jump over the fireballs that will kill you in one hit. And as the fight progresses here, you might notice here the flashing super bar. Well, yay, you get supers. And everyone's super is a little bit different. Someone like L, she'll just shoot a bunch of fireballs in rapid succession. Everyone does something a little different. And of course, we have different characters. They all do different things. If L is the Ryu, I guess L's not be the Ken. What's his deal? Well, he can shoot a bunch of, ice projectiles instead of fire projectiles, and the way you would expect, but he can get a little tricky in that some could be a little angled. You can also control the speed, right? A slow fireball or a fast fireball, which, if you know your zoning 101, switching up speeds is a big deal. And also, he can control some weird angles like high above the air. People jump too much. And as you get more advanced, there's characters that just fly, right? No need to jump. You're just up and down. That's it. And she can toss some regular style projectiles while flying around. And also some like extra slow orbs to help really control the screen. Except she can use the wind to make them go extra fast, extra far. How about a stance character? We always need stance characters in a fighting game, right? So with Myra, we have stuff like, say, Green Stance, maybe not the most informative name, but Green Stance can reflect projectiles while tossing its own. Blue Stance can give you tricky things like fast falls, which can help you mess with the opponent's timing. Something like Red Stance, on top of just giving you like fun little angles, can also give you gigantic fireballs that have higher durability and will beat weaker fireballs on hit. So you just win the zoning war, so therefore they kind of have to just jump and avoid it. And basically, as a game where it's zoning 101, right? then you basically start just getting weird with it, because now we got guys who can teleport and just do a lot of weird different things, right? Like, this game is like dive kick, and there's a lot of inventive ways to just do the basic thing it's setting out to do. And gameplay wise, that's kind of the long and short of it. Simply outzone your enemy with the tools you have. You know, the characters give you different ways to enjoy the game. They zone in different ways, some more traditional, some a little weirder. Movement wise, some characters are a little bit weirder than others, as you can see here, right? But generally, you're kind of just stuck to your pillar. So you have to use proper zoning and proper counter zoning. And if you can't, you're gonna get blown up. The characters will give you different ways to engage, but otherwise, this is a fighting game fundamentals 101 kind of game. Zoning is one of the most important parts of fighting games in general. And if you don't know how to zone, or at bare minimum don't know how to counter zone, you will not be able to succeed in this game. And just like dive kick was a great lesson in aggression and spacing, this is a great lesson in zoning. If you are looking to tune up your zoning game just a little bit, this might be a good experience for you, especially whenever the new NetherRealm Studios game gets announced. We all know NetherRealm loves its zoning. But that's the core gameplay, and yes, you better believe we got a bunch of the features you would like and hope for and expect. Local offline versus and yes, online play are very much a go, and yes, there is also ranked online play. We got training modes, we got tutorials, although to be frank, like the basic concept sort of sells itself. It's not too difficult to learn. Even a story mode. It's basically an arcade mode, but you know, nice to give the characters a little bit more fun and flavor. And the true biggest selling point to me is this is a fighting game anybody can pick up and play. It doesn't matter if you've never played a fighting game before or if you've been playing Street Fighter for the last 30 years. There's no complex motions, it's just a bunch of button presses and maybe you press a direction as well. And it's just all about your decision-making process that will determine the winner and the loser. Really that simple, that cut and dry. So if you're just looking for something new at minimum, this is new. Again, this should be live as of the time I post this on the channel. It is Steam only for now though, FYI. Real fun to pick up and play with your friends if you're just, hanging around, or maybe an event if you're looking for a fun little side game to play. This is a fighting game fundamentals based game. Generally speaking, the better player will usually win because this is all about how well can you zone. Again, I just like shining the spotlight on smaller indie fighting games. This is made by a very small team in Belgium. I believe it'll be launching at $6 American on Steam, so it's not going to break the bank if you want to try it out. And if you're looking for something cool, fun, and different, well, this is cool, fun, and definitely different. At bare minimum, can be a fun couple-day vacation away from Drive Rush and Heat Engagers. So that's Joltt the Battle Pillars, and again, if you want to check it out on Steam, I have the link for you in the video description. I think it's pretty cool, so I just wanted to give it a nice little highlight. Games that distill the fighting game essence down to its basics, like dive, kick, like footsies. I just find those very interesting, and I've never seen one where the concept was zoning. So I just think that's cool and unique on its face. But that said, my friends, that's the game, and well, that is the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.
Love, yeah.